Story name: Ghost of Hollow Creek. Hollow Creek was a quiet countryside village in America, far from the noise of the cities. Life moved slowly there. People worked in the fields during the day and locked their doors tightly at night. The village was surrounded by endless woods, but at the edge of those woods stood something everyone feared: an old, broken-down barn near the creek. No one went near it after dark. The villagers whispered about a fire that happened nearly 100 years ago. A little girl named Annie had been trapped inside, her screams echoing across the village as the barn burned. Though the flames died out, people said Annie's spirit never left. Some nights, children cried they saw a pale figure in the fields, her face scarred and her eyes hollow, waiting for someone to wander too close. One summer, 3 city teenagers, Ethan, Claire, and Noah, came to Hollow Creek for a break from school. They were staying with Noah's grandmother, who often warned them about the barn. "You stay away from that place," she said, her voice shaking. "That barn is cursed. No good ever came out of it." The 3 laughed it off. Ghost stories were for kids, they thought. One hot evening, as the sun set behind the cornfields, Ethan smirked and said, "Why don't we go check it out? Spend a night there. Prove to everyone it's just an old barn." Claire hesitated. She was nervous, but curiosity won over fear. By midnight, the 3 stood before the barn. The barn looked ready to collapse, its roof sagging, the wooden boards rotting, the smell of damp hay thick in the air. A broken lantern hung crooked by the door, creaking in the breeze. The moment they stepped inside, the wooden floor groaned under their weight. The boys lit a lantern they had brought. The light barely reached the corners, where shadows seemed to twist unnaturally. They settled down, laughing nervously, but as the hours dragged, laughter faded into silence. Just before midnight, the lantern flickered. A low sound echoed through the barn, soft at first, like a sigh, then clearer. It was the sound of a child crying. Claire froze. "Did you hear that?" Ethan rolled his eyes, though his voice shook. "It's just the wind. Old barns make noises." But Noah's eyes widened. He pointed to the dusty floor. There, right in front of them, small wet footprints appeared, one after another, moving toward them. Suddenly, the barn door slammed shut with a violent bang. The lantern light flickered again, almost going out, and the air grew so cold they could see their breath. From the corner of the barn, a shape began to form, a small, pale figure, slowly stepping into the light. It was a girl. Her hair was burned at the ends, her skin pale as ash, and half her face scarred and blackened. Her empty eyes glowed faintly. She whispered, her voice broken and echoing, "Why are you here?" The 3 huddled together. Claire whimpered, "We're sorry. We didn't mean to." The girl tilted her neck unnaturally, her neck cracking. "This is my home. You shouldn't have come." The crying grew louder, filling every corner of the barn. The lantern finally went out, plunging them into darkness. In the dark, they could hear footsteps circling them. Ethan shouted and ran to the door, pulling at it with all his strength, but it wouldn't budge. Noah pounded the wall, screaming for help. Claire clutched Ethan's arm, sobbing uncontrollably. Then came the laughter, a child's giggle, high-pitched and cruel. The pale girl appeared again, inches from their faces, whispering, stay with me forever." The last thing anyone heard outside the barn were 3 blood-curdling screams that ripped through the night, and then silence. The next morning, villagers went to the barn to expect to scold the teenagers for trespassing. But when they opened the doors, the barn was empty. No sign of Ethan, Claire, or Noah remained. Only 3 sets of footprints led into the barn, and none came out. That night, a farmer walking past the fields swore he saw 3 figures standing near the barn, motionless, pale, their eyes glowing faintly in the dark. And sometimes, if you pass by Hollow Creek at midnight, you'll hear the sound of a barn door creaking shut, followed by a little girl's laughter echoing through the night.
If you survived this story, give it a like and subscribe to Voices of the Dead so you never miss the next haunting.